I just finished a great conversation with Annalee, the head of our projects division here at Ronival. We sat down, we talked about two recent projects that she finished, a residential project and a commercial project. Both clients were Rocío and myself. Listen to both of those projects, what she does for the projects division, and she also is offering a brand new service to developers here in the Baja. Take a listen. Annalee, welcome back to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Jake.
How's your summer been?
Wonderful.
I just got back from vacation, and you're going away to vacation.
I know. We need to.
Yeah, well, it's good so that, some are here and some are not here.
Exactly.
Right? So
exactly.
I wanted you on the podcast to talk about some recent projects that you've finished, and one of them was our brand new office in San Jose.
Yeah, it has been amazing. It was a pretty huge challenge there. You've seen the office, how it was, and it was in not a very nice shape. So
for those that don't know what shape it was in, can you describe for us what you would expect walking in the door prior to your team getting their hands on it?
It was funny because we've done all of the offices, and sometimes you just go in and you need paint and small details,
like
right?
Like this,
yeah,
office.
Exactly. But when I was called in, we opened the door and it was just a huge. It was the smell of moisture. It was so penetrating, and then termites all over the place, but this kind of termites that they're hanging from the walls, and
gross.
I was like, really? Are you sure? Can we find another?
Another one? No, Annalee, we already signed the lease. Sorry.
That was it. But then the location of the office, it's right in the heart of the town. So it's in Plaza Mijares, and so it is amazing how it's so cultural. For locals and visitors, it's a great spot where you go and enjoy music, art walk. And so I was like, for some reason, we're doing this, right?
Right. When was that? Do you remember what month it was that I remember when I first went through it, it was almost a year ago.
It was a year.
Right?
Now I think it's a year now. Yeah, it was, we tried. Well, we had a timeline of 6 months, but then it would start
delays. And what were some of the delays that you encountered?
It was because it was so. First of all, there was no drainage, and we had to build the drainage to have a bathroom in the office.
What was the space used for before that there was no drainage?
It was storage. First, back in the days, there was a jewelry store, and then it was a storage. I don't know how they use it as a storage the way it was. But so we did the drainage, and then it was so like enclosed that when we started to work on plasters and everything, it took forever to dry. So we had to bring another supplier to put specialized fence. So it was
to get rid of the moisture.
Yeah.
Okay.
First, it was to get rid of the moisture, and then when we replastered everything, because we demolished a lot.
Because I remember walking in the very first time with the owner. It was very dark, and the moisture, termites, but it was so dark we couldn't really see. Rocío and I couldn't really see what was there, and it was kind of split into 4 quadrants.
Exactly.
Right? And there was some wood beams there.
Yeah.
And you had to destroy some of the walls to open it up.
Exactly. And we need to replace the beams because they were structural. They were holding because it had the construction from 1800s. I mean,
this is actually in the art district, and it's a protected building.
Exactly.
Which actually makes it easier or harder to make changes?
It was harder because you need to combine, but you need to combine whatever you want to bring out, like to modernize, but you need to keep the essence of the place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, but then Yambe comes in, so she's in charge of all of the design, and then there we go. We executed everything.
So I remember this. She did the initial design. Rocío, you, Yambe were working together. I just saw like the final design and was like, yeah, that looks awesome. And then what do you do from that point on? Approximately what month are we in at that point?
At that point, it was September.
September of 2023.
Yeah.
Okay. So September 2023, you start the work.
Yeah,
demolition.
Yeah,
okay.
Demolition comes in, and then we took all the debris out, and then we start like planning everything, and then quoting, because you start with a quote, but then
I know you go over budget.
Well, I mean, I think I had a design, so I had to follow it. So. And then we start quoting, and then everybody comes in, right?
But I remember early on the roof, the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
So that had to be kind of rebuilt, right?
It was rebuilt, yeah, because when we started like doing the maintenance, we noticed that it was like the slab, between the slab, we had a lot of termites.
And so rip it all up?
Rip it all up, do it again. It's
more time, more money.
More time, more money.
Okay. So then we're still thinking 6 months when we start the project from start to finish. So that would finish sometime around March. Yes. And I remember in my mind, it was a great time because it would be the start of the spring break season. So just fast forward, when did we open the office?
We just opened
in July.
A month ago.
So we were 4 months past due, and it kept on like pushing. What were some of the other things that were pushing things further down?
Most of it was construction. It was construction, because if you demolish and then you started working on another wall, and then you find another problem in the wall, and it's just...
Okay.
It's just...
So things you can't anticipate, things literally behind hidden walls.
Yeah, well, I kind of, when I saw the place, I was like, again, are you sure, Rocío, you want to do this? And she's like, that's what Nick's won, so.
Oh, it's my fault. Okay, so, and how is the result? Are you happy with it?
It's amazing.
And
it's just incredible.
We had our launch event on the 4th of July.
Yes.
And it was a great event, hundreds of people, because it was the art walk also. I'm most impressed, and I got the most comments from the bar social area.
Oh, yeah.
And explain to everyone that space. What was the inspiration? What are elements that you like about it?
Well, I love the distribution because it's just so different to all of our offices. It's just once you get in there, it's just another vibe, and then once you get to the bar meeting area, it's just another, right? Yeah. So the brick wall is just amazing, and then every single detail that it's in there, and you feel not in an office, right?
But it is an office.
But it is.
So Rocío and I were your clients, basically, right?
And the second time.
And so the first time, because all the offices, right? Yeah. But we had our one of our residential homes that you remodeled in Ventanas. Let's talk about that, because that was over a year ago. A year and a half ago that we started that project. Let's talk about the things that we did on that house and the challenges.
Absolutely. Well, it was another challenge, right? Because it was the first time that I was working with you guys in a home, right? Yeah. So offices is just like more, we know the way and whatever. So here we, as well, starting with a quote, an initial quote, and then you start detecting or you start changing because Jambe has an inspiration and then Rocío has another, and then everything mixed up. It's more money. Yeah. So it was a great challenge having that much people working in the house at the same time. I was kind of nervous on taking the responsibility of remodeling a house for you guys, but
just because it's us?
Yes. Really? Yeah. But you know what? I've learned everything from Rocío. So that makes it easier. No?
Because you've remodeled bigger houses, more expensive houses, whether it's in Palmilla or in Cerro Colorado, right?
Yeah, exactly.
In Puerto Los Cabos, wherever. But wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. But then I was like, everything, if I do something wrong,
which never happens,
it's because she didn't teach me right enough. No, but I mean, she's an excellent teacher, and everything I know it because of her. Mm-hmm. So that makes it easier. I know what she likes. I know how she likes.
So that's interesting. So your clients, in this case us, it's important to know your clients.
Yeah, it is very important.
The KYC.
Yeah.
Know your client.
Know your clients, exactly. It's just every client is different, and every project has its own challenge, right? So the challenge here was the budget.
Because this is an investment property. Yeah, it's not our personal home.
But then we started, like, if you modify the kitchen, then you will modify all the carpentry. And so if you modify the carpentry, then let's go and remodel all the bathrooms. And then if it keeps going. So here in the house, we remodeled the kitchen, completely new kitchen, appliances. We remodeled the pool. This house is unique because if you're the swimming pool, it has an amazing view to the arch. So the floor was replaced in
the terraces.
The fire pit was remodeled. Everything was remodeled.
And all new lighting, all the bathrooms, all the carpentry.
Yeah, and it has quartzite, so it makes it really, really, really nice. Yeah.
So quartzite is natural stone.
It's the natural stone, and for me, it's the best stone because it is so thick that it's very durable.
And that's what's in the kitchen?
That's what's in the kitchen, yeah. And the color is beautiful.
It is beautiful. Yeah. And we also relocated or added new air conditioning units.
We did. You were the one to ask for that, for the living area, because remember when we started there, it was not very enough
to cool the area. Yeah. And so we
closed windows.
Closed windows, right?
We closed windows. We remodeled. We demolished the bathtub.
Yes, more closet space for the master.
Exactly. It's huge.
Yeah.
It's huge. It's beautiful. And then the shower was remodeled there.
That's right.
Lighting. Mm-hmm. As I mentioned, carpentry.
Repaint inside and outside.
Everything.
Okay, so those are two projects that were our projects, one commercial, one residential. For those that don't know, whether they're clients or if they're even our own real estate sales agents, what is the typical process that you run through with a client that wants to build a house, remodel a house, or just do general repairs? Yeah,
well, the first thing is to get together with the client and know his needs. Just listen to them and just know what they want to do. And based on what they want to do, then I will call in whoever I need to call. If it's a designer, if it's the contractor, if it's the engineer or the architect, whoever I need to start with, then that's how we go. We start quoting. We go back and forth. We try to be very responsive with our clients because what we do in Ronival is we create experiences. So we try to let the client know that this will be a good experience, no? Because they're hiring our service to have that. Well,
it's stressful, right?
It is
because it involves money, decisions, expectations.
Expectations.
And so whenever you're trying to combine all those things and have it be accomplished in a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
And so once you get the quotes for the client and they approve the quotes, then what?
Then we start. The quote is approved, then we start with the initial payments. Once the supplier and us receive the payments, then we start scheduling, and then we provide a timeline to the owner, and we keep track of everything, and we have the full communication with the client.
Right. And when the project are you keeping in touch weekly?
Weekly.
Okay. It is weekly.
Yeah.
And if the project is, say, a 6-month project, how often in your experience have you seen changes happen?
All the time.
All the time. There's always changes, like with me and Rocío.
Yes.
Okay.
It is very common.
All right. So with all these changes that inevitably end up happening during the course of construction, how do you handle that? Because that's changing the plan, more costs, more time.
Immediate communication.
Yeah.
Immediately, because once the client is informed, it's not a problem. The problem comes when it took us 2 weeks to inform you when you were expecting, and then if there's a problem and you don't solve it, and most of the time solving the problem is gonna cost the client, right?
Yep. Okay, so those are 2 great projects. We learned a little bit about how you operate in your team. There's a feature or a service that we've provided to our developers. I want to talk a little bit about this. It's the delivery management services. And what I saw in the marketplace, because we see so much new construction, and we have our development department, and that development department is selling the real estate. But there's a gap in the customer experience from when they sign a contract to the time they are delivered the keys, which is the communication, the updates on the construction, the actual punch list that they would go through. So we as a team came up with delivery management services. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah. I mean, it's a very attractive program for our clients and for the developers as well, because it's hard to be keeping up with communication. I mean, communication is hard for everybody, right? But as I mentioned before, we are creating an experience. So you want to have the client happy. This doesn't mean that you need to do something different or bigger or more expensive or whatever. It's just communication. So what we try to do is to once the client signs the commitment with the developer, we come in and then we start making communication with the client and keeping them informed. That's it.
Well, this service, I can't tell you how, it's a brand new service we're providing to developers. I can't tell you how thankful I am for this service, because there's a countless number of times that us as sales agents are dealing with our clients that the number one complaint is not enough communication and wrong communication, because most of our developers are Mexican and they're not English speaking. Their staff isn't able to communicate to the majority of our clients that are foreigners and only English speaking.
Yeah, that's correct.
And so if you don't speak the language and if you're not communicating often enough in the right language, there's going to be problems.
No, and they're busy doing other stuff.
Right.
I mean, there's something more, important.
Yeah, with a developer, you need to work your budget, the financials, you need to make sure the contractors are paid. It's like...
Exactly, and if you see, sometimes you say, tomorrow, I'll update tomorrow, and then a week has passed. And they think they're coming and they're going to receive their condo, and guess what? It's not ready, right?
Right. Well, Annalee, thank you very much. And I know you're going on vacation here shortly. Enjoy your vacation.
Thank you so much.
And I look forward to the next project that we can talk about and rave.
Absolutely.
And you just actually finished one in Todos Santos.
Yes.
So you were talking to the media department about getting pictures and updated videos. I don't know the house, so I'm excited to see that. And maybe that's our next podcast.
Yes, for sure.
Okay, everyone.
So much.
Until the next one.
Gracias.
Bye for now.
Thanks for listening to this episode of the Nick Fong Podcast. Make sure you subscribe to the podcast and the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Ronival Real Estate and follow Nick on Instagram at NickFong_Ronival. Ready to find your Baja dream home? Check out the latest property listings at Ronival.com or findmexicohouses.com. Hasta luego.